everyone, and welcome back to Easy Cooking with Linda B. The other day, this is what Bob and I woke up to. And by the end of the day, we had over a foot of snow. So it's cold here, it's a snow day. So I'm in the mood to make a soup. The soup that I'm going to make for you today is a creamed spinach potato soup, and I'm going to show you how to put it all together. The ingredients you will need to make this creamed spinach potato soup are the following. You will need some chopped onion. It doesn't have to be small, but you can if you prefer. And I have here 2 cloves of minced garlic. I have mushrooms. I have sausage. I like to have meat in my soup, not always, but sometimes. And this is a country sausage mix here. It's sweet. And then what I'm going to use is this awesome bag. It's a steaming bag. And this is a sauced cream spinach. This is typically what you would put in a microwave, but I'll show you how I'm going to use it. I also have potatoes that were kind of ready to go. They were getting really soft. So I just diced them into small bite size. For seasoning, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to use salt and pepper. And then for the broth, I am using a no salt chicken broth. This way I can control how much salt I put into it. So now I'm going to show you how it all comes together. All right, I have my saucepan heating up. I'm not going to make a large batch this time. And here I have my sausage opened. And I'm going to just take my little scoop because I don't want this ground up. I want it more like in balls. So I'm going to use my scoop. And then, as you can hear, it's starting to sizzle. You don't want to put it in too hot. In other words, you don't want the heat too high because then it will stick, but you don't want it too low because then it won't cook. So just to start it out until it could render some of its fat. What I'm going to do now is scoop this all out, put it in the pan, and then I will cook it, and then I'll show you what we do next. Okay, the sausages are done. Well, not completely through, but they aren't done cooking at this point because they will be added back into the pot while the soup is cooking. I would say this is pretty lean. I don't know, you can't see it too well. It rendered probably about a tablespoon of fat, which should be enough for what I need to do here. So first, I will add in my onion. I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit because I want to get this cooking quickly. So now I'm going to put in the onion. Mix this around. Oh, by the way, I just want to show you, I do now have a microphone. So I hope you find that the sound quality is better. Please let me know. Hollis, I'm relying on you, hon, to let me know how it sounds, okay? All right, back to the soup here. Oh, and also, I just want to give a shout out to one of my dearest friends. Her name is Teresa. She recently had knee surgery. Kiddo, thinking about you. Recover quick, okay? All right, so now I'm going to let these cook for a few minutes. As you can see, they're picking up the nice bits from the sausage that's been cooking. So the flavor of the sausage will be all the way through on here. Even though the star of our soup is going to be spinach and potatoes. All right, so this looks pretty good. And now what I will do is add in my garlic. Okay, so I want to keep this moving because I don't want the garlic to burn. So I'll work on this for a little bit and then I'll come back and I'll show you what I'm going to do next. The onions and the garlic have been cooking for about 5 minutes. So the onions are definitely getting soft. Now the next thing I will do is I'm going to add my mushrooms. While I was off camera, I cut them into small bite-sized pieces. Get them added in. Mix them around well. Okay, so now I will put in next my potatoes. And I have them in a strainer because whenever I do my potatoes, I always rinse them, soak them, rinse them, and wash them to get as much starch out as possible. So now I got them in. I will add a little bit of salt because again, my broth is unsalted. Some pepper. Mix these around really well. Okay, so again, I will raise my heat. And now I will put in my stock. So I'm using one carton of this stock. And then if I need to add a little more liquid, I'll just add in a little bit of water if I need to. Raise the temperature, I'm going to cover it, and then I'm going to let it simmer until the potatoes are fork tender. And then we'll go to the next step. Okay, so the soup has been simmering for about 10 minutes. And I just want to check my potatoes. Oh, look at that. Fork tender right through. And the mushroom too. Just want to make sure they're complete. And they're tender. Okay, so at this point, now I'm going to add my sausages because they do need to continue cooking. So just carefully add them to the pot. You don't want this to splash up and burn you. Stir them in. Okay, and this is the fun part. This is the spinach that came out of the bag. This is the cream. Now I've had it sitting out, so it's starting to thaw. But this is what's going to give it the creaminess. And then, of course, the spinach is nicely diced, so it's not real large, which I'm happy about. So I will carefully add this into the broth. Because now this still has to cook because it's been frozen. It's still slightly frozen. And I want to pull out all the flavors and I want the cream to melt down into the soup. Cream, I have light cream, but I'll show you when I add it. Okay, so now I'm going to let this soup cook about another 10 minutes. I want to make sure that sausage is cooked completely through. And I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, now the soup has been cooking for about 15 minutes. I want it to run a little longer. And as you can see, everything is now completely cooked. That cream gave it just a little bit of creaminess. You could leave it just like this, but I like to have more cream. And I don't know exactly how much I'm going to add. I'm going to add whatever looks best, in my opinion, for me and Bob. I like it just a little creamier than that, but make sure you turn your heat off or to very low because you do not want to curdle your cream. Okay, very good. Now you can see it's all come together. I'm going to plate this up and then go in for a taste test. And here it is. I did add a little more salt to it. And now I'm going to taste it. It smells delicious. And it's simple to make, as you could see. So I'm going to start out with some of the broth. Oh my goodness. You know what's great about this? You really taste the spinach. I'm going to go in for a potato and some spinach. Hope I don't end up with it on my teeth. Sorry. Okay, here we go. Oh my goodness. The potatoes are soft. They're tender. They like melt in your mouth. And now one more. I have to try a little bit of the sausage. Okay, here we go. Really nice. And I want to remind you too, this Sunday, February 18th, my friends Phil and Peter will be airing their live show on Let's Celebrate TV featuring my YouTube sister, Glow's Kindred Kitchen. So please stop in and take a look. These guys are great. And Glow is a doll. You'll love seeing her. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed watching my video and me making this beautiful soup. It is very healthy. I used a light cream, which is better for you, and very simple to make. And I want to say thank you to all my subscribers. You all have been wonderful. And remember, enjoy life and never stop learning. Bye now.